Yep. Now, yeah. Is the pig doesn't have eyes, right? We don't want to bind our bones without the eyes, because then the eyes are going to float in time and space. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select my rig. I'm going to just delete it. It's not a big issue. All right. Just delete it. Don't delete the armature. Just delete the rig. The rig can be regenerated straight away. All right. That's not the issue. What we want to do is make sure our eyes are going to be in place. Now, what works as eyes? A sphere. Does anybody remember what key commands to add an object? Shift A. All right. So in mesh, we go to UV sphere. We get a sphere. I'm just going to hit S straight away. I'm going to scale it. And I'm going to go G on the Z axis. Lift it up. And then G on the X axis. Bring it out. Rotate. G on the Y axis. Move it forward. G on the X axis, bring it in. You see how I'm always moving from the orthographic views. Once it's roughly in place, then you can go G and kind of place it where you want. Now, word of warning. Can you see its geometry? Do you see how the mesh is going up in that direction? If this is an eyeball, the very top of the sphere has to be pointing forward. So, if I go into the x-axis, I hit R and 90 degrees. You can see now the point faces forward. Now, who remembers the tool that we use to duplicate? Shift D. You can do that. What modifier could we use instead? Mirror. Use the mirror modifier. No point in trying to re-put it if you can just chuck it in. Alright. But remember, with everything, set your actual origin to geometry, and it does this. Do you see that? Because remember, I've set everything to a zero plane. It tries to go to the exact same thing. So if that happens, you got to make sure. They got two ways of doing it. Let's see if what happens is if I set this origin to 3D cursor, all of a sudden it works. Now why is that? This is really important to understand because I zeroed everything out. I told the computer that this belongs to that point. This belongs to this point. And so when I mirrored and set the origin to the body, it all of a sudden went, no, that's not right, because the body belongs to this point now, and it threw it to one side. Once you do that, then it's kind of fine. It doesn't matter. But what's really important, now once we have it in place and we generate rig, like we've done before, nothing should have changed. But the binding process is going to be a little bit different because we have geometry that isn't actually got any bone structure. That doesn't need a bone structure. So we've got to look at it and go, right, hierarchy. Once again, the procedure of selecting the body and the rig is so important. All right? So, knowing that, I'm going to click away. So your rig should not be highlighted. It should be these black squiggly lines. What I'm going to do first is select my body. That's my primary. My secondary are my eyes. Holding your finger on shift, select the eyes. Now, because we've got a mirror that was on it, it'd be fine. But guys, did I forget to do something?
Apply.
Exactly. So make sure I've already applied it. Oh, there you go. I was quick and speedy. So it's got the application. It's all done. Once again, select the body, then select the eyes, then select the armature.
In that order?
In that order. Now, if this is going to be anything else, like a character with hair, character with clothes, character with this, that, it's the order. All right? Rule of thumb. When you're making a character that has clothes on, don't make the clothes and then try to rig it. It doesn't work like that. Your character must be naked. You bind it to a naked body and then you make the clothes onto the body. that has the armature already built, because the clothes are a simulation, not an animation. It needs animation to simulate. Does that make sense? That's rules of procedure. So now we've got this all sort of set up. Everything is all selected and selected in the right order. Have a look at your tree. Everything that needs to be selected. If there's too many things selected, like your camera or your light, it's going to try to bind the camera and light as well. So once again, select the body, hold your finger on shift, select the eyes, hold still, keep your finger on shift, select the rig. Do not select the meta rig. Don't select the bones. They serve no more purpose.
So you press shift and then you start selecting. Okay.
In that order. And what happened?
I'm still up to the eyes.
Pardon?
You might have to. I'm just still doing the eyes. And
Oh, okay.
them and setting them up.
How did we get the eye? So you go to shift A and then what do you choose?
Stop recording.